Hey everybody, Skip Brinke coming to you from the Main Street Marketing Studios, which is brought to you by Paragon Marketing Group. And today we have Sean Allen from Blue Line Business Strategies, Focal Point Business Coaching. And we're going to talk about goals, and we're going to talk about how that can tie into marketing. And we're going to talk a little bit about just a variety of different areas of goals. But one of the first things we want to talk about is the importance of goals, the clarity of goals, and how they really work in your business and how they work really in your daily life. I mean, Let's talk a little bit about that with regards to you and how you do things with regards to the goals and you work with your clients.
Sure. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me today, too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
One of the key critical things, and I think whether it's in business or in life or wherever, is, hey, where are you going? What are you doing to intentionally get from here to there?
Right.
So one of the things that I really, really stress with clients is getting very specific and clear on what your goal is. What do you want to achieve out of this endeavor, whether it's business or life or sports or relationship or marketing? Where are we going with this?
Right.
The brain loves specifics. So the clearer we can be right now, the easier it is to start to map it out and then start to fill in the gaps about how we're going to get there. Who are we going to get in place to help us along the way? So clarity is power, and that's one of the most, or if not the most important thing to me as a coach when I'm working with clients.
And it's the same thing about a marketing strategy. When we talk to clients and we have those same conversations with them, there's a lot of times when business owners, whether they're small, they have ideas and they go about it with that broad brush, right? And they think, well, this is where I have to go and I got to attend to all the masses and I'm going to do this just big approach in this way. But you know what? That can be very costly for people. And it can cost them in time. It can cost them in dollars because they don't have a specific strategy.
Sure.
They aren't clear on who they're reaching and they're not clear on their approach. So having that pinpoint idea of where you're going is just huge. And so when we talk about having that clear, concise way of going, it's all about goal setting.
Yeah.
It's all about what is the goal? What is our end state goal that we want to have as an organization, whether it's in marketing, whether it's in their growth, whether it's in, like you talk about, personal growth, whatever that is. So we go through certain exercises when we talk about goal setting with clients, obviously, and it ties similarly with regards to, because, we ask, where do you want to be in year 1, 3, 5, in 10 years from now?
Sure.
Where do you see yourself as a business? So when you talk about goal setting in your exercises, tell us a little bit about how you work with people on your goal setting for their business, and maybe see how we can tie that into marketing.
Yeah, well, I think a lot like you, it's one, getting to know the client, getting to know who they are. So first things first, just sitting down and let's have a conversation about who you are, what makes you up, who are the important stakeholders in your life, what's important to your family, why are we endeavoring to do this? Because again, I'm asking clients to make an investment of time and money in order to further their growth. So first, am I working with somebody that's committed to that growth? Are they committed to the plan of getting better, achieving more profit, finding more time in their world, transitioning from one career to another? Whatever that aspect is, finding out a lot about them. And once we've spent time uncovering who they are, then I have the raw materials to begin to help them assemble a plan. I don't purport to sit down with somebody and say, hey, I can fix your challenges. I've got it. I can be very prescriptive the more that I know. And I've got to assume that in marketing, it's the same thing, yeah?
You're asking the same kind of questions because in many times when you get into a circle of people, you could have 3, 4 people in a room and you start talking about that. Well, there's different ideas that come out. And, and a lot of times what you'll find is maybe you have 3 or 4 people that are maybe in the same organization and they're in the same boat, but they may be rowing in different directions. And the only way, that's the fastest way to get yourself off track, right? I mean, if you've got somebody who thinks you're going at this and you have somebody going here and somebody's going over here, well, while you still could be moving forward, it's just taking you a hell of a lot longer than if you said, okay, everybody, we want to focus on A, B, and C. We're going to sell a widget. 1, 2, 3 to this market. Now you've taken this broad brush into this tube
Sure.
that everybody's got a laser focus on. I mean, and I think it's just a much better way of, but we run across that all the time.
Well, and I think something that comes to mind there is I think that speaks to the adaptability. Sure, we're looking at that 1, 3, 5, 10-year someday goal, and yet as we back it down, when I work with clients, it's okay. Where do you want to be someday? Where do you want to be in 10 years? What does that look like in 5 years? In 3 years? 2 years? 1 year? 6 months? Now, and we find that we have to have a measure of adaptability. Skip, my gosh, look where we're at. Look where we were at a year ago, 18 months.
Oh, yeah.
Have people's marketing goals changed?
Absolutely.
Because of COVID and what's gone on in our communities? That's the same thing with coaching. Some of those goals have shifted. So, yes, do we still have the goal of X? Is our gap still to go from A to B? Absolutely. But in the moment, we may have to address things a little bit differently. We may have to find a different marketing tactic. We may have to find a different. I'm big on surrounding ourselves with the right people.
Absolutely.
Do we have the right people on the bus to help us get there? And I think in our worlds, we've got to be brutally honest and courageous enough to tell our clients, you're going the wrong direction. We need to be looking here, not there, because that's taking
those
you
are
off track.
painful conversations, when the day is, and sometimes they're shocking to people.
Sure.
And we had during that whole course of COVID, the word pivot. If I hear it now, it almost makes the hair on my neck stand. It was like, we got to pivot. Yeah, well, you did, but we chose. We use the word adapt.
Yeah.
And because that just seemed, because you did. Everything had to change, but there were people that didn't want to get outside. They stayed in the lane. But the lane wasn't working. And to say, look, you need to get outside this lane or we need to change the direction of it. They were tough conversations, and people, we talked a little bit about sometimes, they fear some of that.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the fear factor of that. It was brutal. But once you got them out, and we talk about, you and I have conversations about how you have to get outside your comfort zone, get outside the box, and you'll find that you're gonna, if you stretch your imagination, you stretch that box, better things happen. Once we did that with clients, they're like, okay, I see it. Now let's retool. But I like your approach, and we just did this not more than a half hour ago with somebody from a top down, and that top down approach, it was enlightening to them, where they said, oh, we have a lot of steps in here where there's things we have to do, and we have to do these, and we just have to make sure we do that. And so now when we say we have to make sure we do that, we have to switch gears here. When we tell people that they have to be adaptive and they have to change, they also have to be accountable. Absolutely.
No, the accountability, excuse me, the accountability piece is understated. I'm very partial to leaders. I think we all can lead from where we're at. John Maxwell, leadership coach, speaks to that about levels of leadership and being able to lead from where you're at. There's positional leaders. There's leaders that, just because you're in the middle in the organization doesn't mean you can't lead. We all can hold each other accountable to the goals, as long as we're clear on the expectations and where we're going together.
Right.
When we don't have that, accountability can just be a quagmire. It can be just so incredibly difficult. So one of the things that I get the pleasure of doing, and I say pleasure because it helps people grow forward, is have those uncomfortable conversations. It's buzzwordy to say, hey, let's get out of your comfort zone. But what does that really look like in the moment? Because for some people, Skip, pushing through that fear, it's very painful. It can affect them on an emotional level, a physical level, to get out of that comfort zone. And, I'm not going to settle for somebody's, I'm going to stand tall for somebody's greatness. I'm not going to let them succumb to their own excuses. I'm in your life to help get you from here to there so that you can live the life that you want to live. And quite honestly, there are some people that they don't want that. measure of accountability, and that's okay. That just means we're not a fit for the relationship now, maybe later, because if you're not willing to take a look in the mirror and be held accountable to some standards when it comes to your goals, then we're gonna have some tough conversations.
Yeah, you can get people, and there's some people that get to the ceiling and they don't want to punch through it.
Nope.
And the ceiling is fine where they're at, and we get that too. I mean, you're talking with somebody, they say, I've done all the marketing I can, I get where I hear, and I'm comfortable where I'm at. And then you start asking more questions, and they say, all right. Then they start realizing, well, maybe I'm not that comfortable. I mean, I'm fine, but maybe this isn't what I. What did you really get into business for when you first started? Did you reach that point? Well, no. I mean, I'm just comfortable where I'm at right now. Oh, well, then we need to punch through the ceiling, and we need to change some of those things. And here's what we need to do, and you need to have this done. And those are uncomfortable conversations, but they have to be had. And sometimes as a business owner, I find myself, I got to get out of my way of myself sometimes too.
Sure.
And my staff is, one of our core values is accountable. And if they say, hey, this is not working, because here's why, A, B, and C, it's going to stop us from getting here because of this, or 1, 2, 3, whatever that is. We're okay with that. Not many people are, though, and it can become really uncomfortable with regards to doing that. So,
well, Skip, we were talking about your business a little bit before we got on air here, and your business today doesn't look at all like what it was when you started.
Oh, no.
You talked about growth and then coming back and then finding the right people, and that's okay. It's okay. I would dare say that's, you probably had some failures along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you and I both, we welcome those failures because those become our measuring sticks of, well, what do we have to do different? The minute you stop measuring that, or the minute you stop being afraid of failing with an endeavor, you're done. Your business is going to die on the vine right there.
I have that conversation with clients. I mean, there's people that when you start talking with them, they have an unreal expectation.
Sure.
That, oh, hey, we talked about SEO before. So, hey, I want to start doing SEO and I want to be on page 1 in a week. No, that does not happen. I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, you can get there. It takes time. It takes a little bit of it. It takes manipulating. It takes moving around. It takes, it takes patience, but it takes determination, and it have to have a steadfast approach. And so, but along the way, you're going to have those failures. Not every marketing campaign is going to be out of the park.
Right.
I mean, and just like some things you try. I mean, like I say, I've had failures. I've had fall down failures, and I tell my staff, look, I'm okay to make mistakes, but let's just learn from them. Let's make the corrections, and let's not make them again. Because then you start leading into the definition of insanity. And if anybody knows me, they know there's a little bit going on there anyways. No, I'm just kidding you. But there is just that ability to want, not to welcome failure, but to accept it and to be okay with it.
Sure. And as a leader, and you're absolutely a leader in this industry and in this business, allowing your people to go ahead and make a mistake, to give an expectation, to have a directive, to say, hey, listen, we want to go here. You can either choose to do it yourself, Skip, as the leader, or put it on your awesome people that you've assembled and let them go forward, because that's how they're going to learn.
Oh, absolutely. It's almost, you got to delegate and let them elevate.
I love that. I love it.
I mean, that's what it really is. And we've got great people, and there's a lot of organizations that have wonderful people, but giving them that freedom to do that is, I think, is the key to success, whether it's in any business, whether it's mine or yours or anybody's. It's the key. It really helps make a big difference. But when we talk about, having that steadfast approach, let's get real.
Sure.
There's a grit and a grind with regards to what we have to do, as whether it's in marketing or whether it's in business. You got to be willing to get a little dirty. You got to be willing to just get a little scrappy sometimes.
There's a grind to the work that we do sometimes. It just made me think of something. I've got a 29-year-old son who is in a band, and great singer songwriter. And I know you're in a band as well, singer. And when I talk to my son about that, he loves to be up on stage, loves that part. But you know what? There's the getting from one place to the venue. There's the late nights. There's the you riding in the stinky van with 5 other guys. There's the setting up the stuff after the show, not sure where you're going to eat. That isn't the fun, exciting part of it, but it's being up on stage, and we've all got some of that in our world. So wrestling with the fact that there's going to be some boring, uninspiring things that you do on a daily basis that are necessary to get you to success. And just wrestling with that now, coming to terms with the fact that there are things that are just some days going to suck, but we have to face our fear and do it anyway, because it's got to get done.
Yep, absolutely. And that's, one of the things as myself, and I mean, I'm an open Christian, but one of the things that I've always hold to, there's never anywhere in the Bible where it says quit. Not one place in the Bible does it say quit. And I hold that very near and dear to my heart. And I know that, a lot of my people that I know and fellow Christians, they have that too, but there's never that. You can't quit. And because there's always a way. There's always a way to get where you have to go. You just have to be patient, and you have to be just willing to take it all in. And not to, and I think one thing that I've learned over the years, and whether it's with marketing, and we have a very collaborative approach with our clients. It's not just our way's the highway. Is that when you get together with a group of people, there's so many people that have so many good ideas, and they have so many, you just get everything in the table. It's kind of like you throw everything in the middle of the table and you start pulling stuff out.
Sure.
And you're like, wow, look what we just created together, and we what seemed impossible has now become a reality. And it's just because it took time, determination, being steadfast, and being willing to get in there and get it.
When I came to grips with the fact that I need to check my ego at the door and let the power of my questions, the power of my willingness to hold people accountable drive the process. Because listen, I don't have all the answers.
Right.
I just don't. Yet I know what I do well, and that's hold people to a high standard for their goals, because people won't say no to their own goals. And allowing them to come up with the answers, because I don't want to. I want you to thrive beyond me. I want you to be better than me. I want your marketing to succeed beyond what I believe it could. I want your goals to elevate your life, and I don't want to be the lid to that client. So sometimes that's allowing them to fail and then say, you know what? Now we're at a crossroads. Do we stop here, or do we get up and find a way over, around, through this wall?
Yep.
It's you, and I'm here for you.
Right. And we've had conversations with a client before where we said, look, we want you to grow to a point in time to where you don't need us, to where you fire us and you can actually hire your own marketing team.
Sure.
And they kind of like, wow, you want to lose? No, it's not. We don't want to lose a client. We never do. But hopefully we can get you to the point in time where we can say, you're good. Now here, let's get you some other marketing people. You can have them all in-house, and it's all there. And it's happened once, and it was an awesome feeling. It really was super cool. And they were like, that's pretty neat. We still talk once a week on a consulting basis, and it's just awesome. But they did it, and it was really phenomenal. But hey, man, I want to tell you, thank you for coming on here today.
Oh, my pleasure.
I mean, this is Sean Allen from Blue Line Business Strategies and Focal Point Business Coaching. This is the guy you got to talk to. He really holds people accountable. I know we've had conversations, and you've got some things to do to work with me. I know we have to get going on some stuff, but he's the man. So if you need have any questions about goals and strategies, give him a call. He'd be more than happy to help you. And if you have any questions with regards to marketing goals and strategies, we can help you there too. But again, thanks for coming on today.
Skip, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, brother. Again, this is Skip Reinke from Main Street Marketing and brought to you from Paragon Marketing Group. Have a great day. Be sure to subscribe to this, because we have some great things coming up with regards to marketing strategists. We've got some new technologies coming up. It's going to be awesome. So thanks for stopping today. Take care.